The time is now 9 a.m. We will call to order the City of Statesboro City Council meeting for February the 2nd, 2021. We will have our invocation and pledge of allegiance by Councilmember Field Boyd.
Thank you, Mayor. We can all bow our heads. You know, sometimes in life, the things that we have to face, we're just unprepared for. And just like this current crisis, every generation has a major issue they have to deal with, and it just seems like these days there are so many issues we have to deal with. But in these times of uncertainty and challenge and change, we have to have faith that the sun will again shine and have the courage to do what's right in order to make those things happen. And the best way to do that is to put things in your hands. Be with us today as we make decisions that move the city of Statesboro forward and help us have the wisdom to make the best decisions for the most possible people. And be with all the frontline workers and those folks who are getting vaccines and distributing vaccines, that we can somehow move closer to getting back towards a more sense of normalcy. In your name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll move down to agenda item 3, public comments. Leah, do we have any public comments?
No, Mayor.
We'll move down to agenda item 4, consideration of a motion to approve the consent agenda, approval of minutes from our work session, council minutes, and executive session on January the 19th. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Let it show that agenda item 4 is passed unanimously. We'll move to agenda item 5, consideration of a motion to approve an easement agreement for installation of utility infrastructure at the Kiwanis Fairground. Mr. Penny, if you'll give us a little insight.
Mayor, members of the council, if you remember, sometime during last year, we brought to you a project with Optum, which is on, and I'm gonna say the right side of 67 as you're going down. But that area is outside the city limits. And what we need to do is get our infrastructure down into that area. And once we get our infrastructure to that area where they will eventually develop a bigger site. And so what we're doing here is asking for you to approve a permanent easement through the Kiwanis Fairground property. And what they're asking us for are some utility things as a part of granting us that easement. It comes to a cost of about $29,000, which will be taken care of by the utility funds. And what we ask for your, we recommend to you that you approve that easement, and we recommend that you approve this request.
Thank you. Any discussion by council? Seeing that there is none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Let it show that agenda item 5 is passed. We'll move down to agenda item 6, consideration of a motion to approve a lease agreement to provide office space to Representative Rick Allen for an additional 2 years with no rent assessed. Mr. Penny, any insight on that before we open it up for council discussion?
No, sir.
Any discussion by council? Seeing that there is none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We move down to agenda item 7, which is consideration of a motion to approve resolution 2021-05, a resolution requesting approval to apply for assistance to firefighters grant for the city of Statesboro. Mr. Penny.
Mayor, members of the council, last year we applied for the same grant. I think it was in the amount of about just under $80,000. And what we're doing, we want to submit that another grant this year to the tune of about $151,000. What that will require from us is a match of about 10%, which would be about $15,000, which we can cover through the fire fund. And there's a couple of things. One, it provides some assistance for a physician that works with our, that will work with our fire department It also will provide a system for refilling the air packs that our firefighters have to use for fire protection when they're fighting fire. And then the other thing it will do is, hopefully, if funded, replace a generator that will fully power the fire headquarters. So we recommend it to you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Penny. All right, any discussion by council? Seeing that there is none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We move down to agenda item A, consideration of a motion to approve resolution 2021-06, a resolution to adopt the First Amendment of the City of Statesboro Schedule of Fees, Rates, and Fines for fiscal year 2021. Mr. Penny.
Mayor and council, at the last meeting, you approved the ordinance for the mobile food trucks. But as part of that, we also need to establish fees for issuance of the permits for and the license for those mobile food trucks. And what this is simply doing is approving the fees for the issuance of the license and for one-time permits for whenever those mobile food trucks come out. So those are the only changes that we're recommending to you as far as the fees and charges are concerned. And just make sure the mobile food truck service business license is $200, we recommend $200. And then the mobile food service location permit is recommended at $25, and we recommend those to you for your approval.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Penny. Any discussion by council?
Kane, how much is a restaurant business license?
It's a $95 flat fee. There's a $40 application fee for brand new.
Okay.
And then there's $20 per full-time employee.
Okay. So it's not really a flat fee then?
The $95 is charged every year.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, and there's a one-time employee fee
No, and then it's, every year is $20 per employee also.
plus the $95?
Yes.
Right, gotcha. All right, and what, just curious why we set it up different, since they're essentially the same thing, just one has wheels?
Because of the, I think it was because of the additional that had to be specifically reviewed by the fire department. It's not that it's.
Restaurants do too, right?
What's that?
Restaurants do too,
Right, but I think just based on the fact that they are not at the fixed location, the scrutiny of them being out in the public, they're high. I think the standards might be higher for it, but, you know, we're open to whatever you'll want to discuss on this, fines and fees.
I mean, I'm just curious, always looking to make sure it's balanced across all the different businesses, that way nobody feels like they're getting, I mean,
That's right.
yeah. I mean, so I'm curious to your thoughts. I didn't really know, and I don't have any particular recommendation. I just was curious why it's different than a restaurant.
That seemed to be in line with what other jurisdictions were charging, so that's why we went with it. It's actually, we're a good bit low. The recommended is lower than Savannah's. I think theirs is 300 or so. So we just based it on what other jurisdictions have done. But we're of course open to whatever recommendation y'all want, or whatever decision you have on it.
Any recommendation or further discussion by council? Seeing that there is none, is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Let us show that agenda item 8 has passed. We move down to agenda item 9. Consideration of a motion to award a contract to Wade Ford in the total amount of $80,332 for the purchase of two F-350 trucks at $40,166 apiece. Both trucks will be paid from GMA lease pool. Mr. Penny, is there any further insight we need on this outside of what's?
No, sir, these are in our replacement, in our CIP, so it's not an addition, it's not coming out of the blue.
Okay, thank you. All right, any discussion by council? All right, seeing that there's no discussion by council, is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Let it show that agenda item 9 has passed. We'll move down to agenda item 10, which is consideration of a motion to award contract to J.C. Lewis Ford for the purchase of the following vehicles. 2 Ford Explorers in the total amount of $58,930, $29,465 each. One vehicle will be paid from the fleet fund revenue, and the other will be paid from storm fund revenue. 2 Ford F-150s in the amount of $53,752.56. One truck will be paid from the natural gas fund revenue, and the other will be paid from water sewer fund revenue. Mr. Penny, if you give us some insight on that.
Well, again, Mayor, these items are all scheduled for replacement within our CIP. And we can't add a lot more. It's a normal replacement schedule for all of these vehicles. And we do recommend the approval by council.
Thank you. Any discussion by council?
Just a quick question, are any of these new ones, natural gas operated? Is that because they're just at the higher end?
They're not.
They're not.
Is that just because they're a heavier duty truck, or are we're not getting away from buying natural gas trucks necessarily, are we?
We're not for the heavier equipment trucks.
But this is just a bigger
Light
truck
duty.
and, yeah, okay. Cool, just curious. Hey, natural gas is cheap, man, we should be using it all we can, so, and it's our utility.
Are
Sports
these new
state.
trucks?
Very good.
Any further discussion by council? All right, Senate, if not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Aye.
Hold on.
Dang.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I think they like trucks. All right, we'll move down to agenda item 11, other business from city council. Is there any other business from city council?
As several pointed historian for us, Bullock County was created February the 8th, 1796.
96.
Well, thank you, John.
There you go, John.
225, and its next door is 217.
And county commissioners will be giving out $20 bills at the county, right, on that day, I believe?
Can I confirm or deny?
No, can I? All time count.
Any other business from city council?
I can report that our food distribution seemed to go fairly smoothly.
Yeah.
Folks were very appreciative last Saturday, and folks are already looking forward to the one in this month and next month.
Yeah, the report I got that there was 836 signed signatures, but there were also individuals that was unable to sign that still received food as well. So that speaks to the volume of need. But that team did a phenomenal job Saturday. It was great to get out there to see what they were doing. It was phenomenal. So
We also distributed masks, and next time I'll carry more masks, because there were people who needed them.
okay, that's smart, Sheriff.
Thank you.
All right. Seeing that there's no other business from city council, we move down to city manager comments.
Mayor, members of the council, I just, in your FYI, I put several items in that FYI packet. And so, without going through them one by one, there were two. One had to do with an employee clinic. And so I would like for you to let me know if you have any real concerns about the recommendation that was in your packet. We need to find another location for our employee clinic. And in that packet, what it stated is one building that we're looking at is Joe Brandon Hall. Joe Brandon is where we have had our council work sessions, but since the pandemic, we've actually been holding the council work sessions in the council chambers. And it really seems to work better. And even after the pandemic, I would recommend that we continue to have the work sessions in this location because of the space that it provides. And then it also is a little bit easier when we're transitioning from the work session to the council meeting. So if you have any real concerns about, we don't have any real plans at this point. We had our employee clinic at another location when we had more than just the city of Statesboro as
Right.
a part of the clinic. But now it's just us. And we really can't justify the expenditure, nor can we have someone there 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. However, if we can take the rent out of it, then we can make it probably more financially feasible if we had a site that the city actually owned that we could operate. So there would still need to be a lot more planning that would be involved. Would the clinic be the only thing that would be there? I can't say that for sure, but before we go that far into it, I would like some reaction from the council at the possible use of Joe Brandon Hall for that purpose.
Well, before we go that way, what's your timeline?
Is Demetrius in? I think we're not under the gun, but by the end of this fiscal year, I believe we.
Okay, 5 months.
Yeah, we had some time to think about it, but Demetrius, I will say to you, Demetrius has been with us a little bit over a year, and he's been looking for locations almost ever since he's been here, because the clinic is important to our employees and their dependents, and it helps save us money. But again, we just need a location that's convenient, and one that will help make it a little bit financially more feasible.
Can't get more convenient than right next door.
No,
Yeah.
and we got plenty of parking all around, so.
Right.
And then the other thing I just wanted to call to your attention, put in about, we made a change and you approved going with CVS for our, they manage our drug, our prescriptions. And what happened is when we made that change, we found that for a number of years, we've had, I think since about 2015, we've had a program where employees could get generic drugs for free. However, that system has not been consistently managed because what you should be doing when you manage a program like that, you ought to have a renewal every year. We have not been doing that. So when we made the transition to CVS, all of a sudden we had employees that came in like, well, I'm supposed to get my generics for free. But all employees have not been offered that.
Was it free? I always thought it was $5, and then they just took it off your paycheck, so they may not even realize they were paying $5.
They might not know, so I'm not sure to that
Because
point.
the reason is I get a couple of generics, and I pay $5.
But there's a copay under our current it's not an exorbitant copay. And so what we need to do is notify our employees that the generic program really goes away, and the program that we're going to be utilizing is the one that's managed through CVS. And so I wanted to make you aware of it, because you may hear from employees that all of a sudden we've eliminated a program, but the way we've been administering, it hasn't been offered to all employees. We had about 90 employees that were on that program. And again, we as managers didn't even know about it until we implemented the new prescription program. And then all of a sudden we found out that system was there. And so I wanted to bring that to your attention as well.
Thank you, Mr. Green. All right, we'll move down to agenda item 13, public comments. Are there any public comments? Seeing that there is none, we'll move down to agenda item 14, which is consideration of a motion to enter into executive session to discuss personnel matters as well as real estate in accordance with O.C.G.A. 50-14-3B. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
There's a need.
Yeah, there's a need.
So,
Is there a second? All those in favor?
aye.
All right, we're now exiting to executive session.